Be my victim.
Get it? B? As in bees? Be my victim? Never mind.
Pain has a face. Allow me to show it to you.
Alright, what's up everybody? Long time no see. Eric Harrison's back in the house to review some more fucking horror movies because, well, that's what we're all here for, isn't it? We're gonna actually talk about a really good one from the 90s, Candyman.
Have you ever heard of Candyman?
Look in the mirror and say it once.
Candyman.
For fun.
You don't believe all that nonsense anyway, do you?
Say it again.
Candyman.
For a scare.
A woman died in there. Leave it.
Say it 5 times.
No one ever got past 4.
You're dead.
Candyman.
Try it. We dare you. Candyman. Rated R. Now playing at a theater near you.
Alright, so Candyman came out in 1992 and directed by Bernard Rose. It's actually based on a novella by Clive Barker called The Forbidden. This movie stars Virginia Madsen, who plays Helen Lyle, and Tony Todd, who plays the infamous, the badass Candyman himself. That's right. Alright, so the plot of this sucker is, well, we've got a grad student who's doing a thesis on urban legends, and she hears about this urban legend that some of the kids talk about. They heard the story from somebody that said something, that saw something, that did this or experienced that about somebody named Candyman, who apparently shows up when you say his name 5 times in the mirror just to cut your ass with his fucking rusty hook. Ew, can you say tetanus? So Helen goes about investigating the mythos of Candyman and finds herself getting caught up in a life or death situation as people around her begin dropping dead left and right. Candyman. Okay, I want to say this right off the bat. There's very few movies that have actually scared me. I'm a horror lover. I'm a fear junkie. I want to be scared by these movies, but most of them don't do it. This fucking movie scared the living shit out of me when it came out, and I saw it when I was probably 14, I want to say. I remember watching it with a bunch of people. There was a lot of us there hanging out. It was like kind of a group movie night thing going on, so we watched Candyman, and I don't know what they thought of it, but I really was intrigued by this movie. It brought me in. I loved the serious tone of it, the grounded nature, the mythos of this Candyman, a new villain that actually stands the test of time, and scared the shit out of me. And I would be lying if I said, like, I didn't lose some sleep for a few nights after watching Candyman. And you know what? You watch a movie like this, and I guarantee you anybody that's ever seen this movie or even heard of it has looked in the mirror and tried to say his name 5 times. Did you make it? Did you make it to the 5th one? And if he hasn't killed you yet, I'm sure he's getting to you. I mean, there's a lot of us out there saying his name, and so he's probably got a list. Take a number, but he'll get around to you. Don't worry about that. So, you know what? This is actually, I think it's kind of underrated. It's a cult classic. It's got a following. It's recognized as a great movie, and I still think that this movie is underrated. It may be one of the last real great horror movies. It's just the fact of Bernard Rose really handled this with care. He took the material very seriously. He presented it very seriously. There's not really a lot of the horror movie cliches actually aren't in this. Or if they are, they're actually done very well. This is not a jump scare movie. This isn't cheap thrills. This is a real story about, it's a story about an urban legend, but it's taken so seriously and grounded in a reality that is truly frightening. So you got something like Candyman, which is, I believe, like a new modern classic horror villain. And he's got a tragic backstory about being killed essentially because of racism. And he wasn't even a slave or anything. He was a prominent artist. He had stature in the culture and in the society. You know, he had a certain amount of respect for his artistic abilities and everything, but because he, got together with a white woman, everybody decided to lynch and kill him, and that's tragic. It's not fair, and he didn't deserve this. So a lot like a lot of, of our favorite horror villains, his story comes from tragedy, from being the victim. He was a victim to start with. Now he wants you to be his victim. So, it deals with real issues that still kind of plague the nation, like our history of slavery, our history of racism, or the fact that the novella was actually set in England, but Bernard Rose decided, let's set this in a very seedy, shady, just dangerous part of town in Chicago called Cabrini Greens, a real place. Well, it was a real place. I don't know if I want to feel good or bad about the fact that it has long since been demolished. I believe Chicago was trying to clean up the area a little bit. But yeah, back then when the movie was made and before, this was a real horror story. This was not like, a big scary castle where lightning flashes and ooh, it looks spooky and there's bats flying by the moon. This is your real fucking horror story right here, this place. Like, it was dangerous. People died there every day. Murders happen all the time. If you're not the right race, or you're not wearing the right colors, or you just, for whatever reason, not welcome in the neighborhood, you actually walk down this sidewalk, you might not have got out of there alive. And places like this exist. So it really does ground the movie in a very real, scary situation, which I think helps to sell this movie so well. Tony Todd is perfect. I can't even imagine anybody else playing Candyman. He's perfect. And you know what's so impressive? That he's in the movie for probably less than 10 minutes. And yet you feel his presence. And you're scared of him after the movie goes off. You barely see him. You barely, he doesn't have very many lines. He's barely in the movie. But he makes such a huge impression. He's so scary, but he's got this class about him. He's calm. He's collected. He's not crazy. He's not out of control. He's not unstable. He knows what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's doing it with pride. He's doing it with a sense of being suave about killing you. It's classic. It's like if he wasn't such a bad guy, you'd almost want to hang out with him, get a drink down at the bar, but he might hook you, and we don't want that. And Virginia Madsen does an excellent job playing Helen, who is a woman that may or may not be insane. And this is something I think is really great about this movie. It's presented as you can make up your own mind about what's going on. It's presented in such a way that it's either Candyman is actually real, and when you say his name in the mirror, he'll come and fucking kill people. Or Helen is losing her mind, and the fact that she found out her husband is cheating on her with some hot-ass little piece of ass from his class made her snap, and so she's using the Candyman mythos in order to go on a killing spree, and I guess take out her anger and frustration on others by slaying people with a hook. This is presented so masterfully because you really are able to make up your mind. Is it this way or is it that way? There's so many clues that will hint either one way or another, but the movie doesn't exactly tell you what's the truth. You have to make up your own mind. But it's interesting to watch the movie with this mindset, because then you'll start catching things like, okay, anytime there's a murder, Helen sees Candyman, and then she passes out and winds up waking up with like a weapon, a knife in her hand covered in blood. Okay? And then there's like a scene at the end where she's actually going to save the baby in the bonfire, and she's got the hook, and the little kid sees her with the hook, and he says,
"He's here."
The movie is presented as you make up your own mind. The way I see it personally, I believe it's a hybrid of both. I think that Candyman is an urban legend, but he does have a power. Much like Freddy Krueger, he lives on the fear, and basically just the fact that other people are talking about him and saying his name, telling the stories to each other. He lives on this. He even talks about it in the movie. He says this directly to Helen.
It is a blessed condition, believe me, to be whispered about at street corners, to live in other people's dreams, but not to have to be. Do you understand?
But the way I see it is, so he is this real being, but the residents of Cabrini Green have long since learned to stop saying his fucking name in the mirror. They stopped talking about him. He's kind of lost his power. But along comes this woman looking into urban legends, and so she starts poking around, doing this, doing that, starts to visit his old stomping grounds, and she starts to say his name. So she's bringing him back to life, and I do believe that he is very much getting in her mind and causing her to do those first few murders, and that is also helping to fuel this fear of Candyman. Oh, Candyman's real, he's coming back. And then eventually, after the encounter with this this man in the institute where she's locked up and she wants to prove to him that Candyman's real, so she says his name. Candyman shows up and rips that guy a new fucking asshole. And I believe that was the moment, that was the last drop of blood Candyman needed to actually come back full force and actually be a being again. And now he can manipulate reality. He's not just working through Helen. He can undo the straps that held her down, bust through the window, and help her get out. That's the way I see it. But that's what's great about this movie, is you can decide however you want to see it. It doesn't tell you one way or another. It's up to you. I want to talk about the fact that it's not just Virginia Madsen, but the whole cast and crew. Everybody claims that the director Bernard Rose used hypnotism on Virginia Madsen for any scenes where she encounters Candyman, so that she would look like she's in a trance. And if you look at these scenes, you can see she's not blinking. You can see her eyes turning red, tears running down her fucking cheeks because she's not blinking. She really looks like she's in a trance. So I've talked about this with some people, and I was really surprised by how many people don't believe in hypnotism. I personally do. I believe in hypnotism and the power of suggestion. Some people don't. But I think in the end, Tony Todd himself actually summed it up best.
Whether you believed or not really wasn't the point. It was whether Virginia and Bernard believed, and whether when she looked at me, she believed.
Alright, so before we wrap this sucker up, let's get into my what the fuck section. Alright, so what the fuck is up with the smoking in this movie? Is this a cigarette commercial? What the fuck? There's barely a moment where somebody's not puffing a fucking cig.
Smoke. Smoke. Are you smoking yet?
Holy shit. Brought to you by Cool. This guy's face is what nightmares are made of. Holy shit. Oh, look at that. And Ted Raimi's in the movie, just random cameo. Here's Ted Raimi. What's up, dude? So, this whole movie is about urban legend. And we've all heard urban legends. There's plenty of them. Bloody Mary and stuff like that. The alligator in the sewer. Everybody, I remember that from back in the day. I believed it for a while. But there's this one urban legend that, I don't really know what to make of it. It goes something about, if you look in the camera lens and you say Danny the Devil 3 times, he'll appear in order to review a movie with you. I mean, that sounds weird, right? It's not gonna work, but fuck it, let's try it. I mean, I know, I'm just gonna make a fool out of myself right now because it's not gonna work, whatever. Let's try this, here we go. Danny the Devil. Danny the Devil. Danny the Devil.
What the fuck is this? Where the fuck am I, man?
Holy shit, it fucking worked! What the fuck? What's up, dude?
Eric! Man! From the Death Twitch! What's up, brother?
Thanks for being on the show.
I'm glad to do it. My nipples are all hard. Shit! Goddamn, had to put an ice cube on it just to get them frickin' hard as shit. Anyways, what's up, man?
Alright, so, while I brought you here, I manifested you, I guess. What did you think of Candyman?
What do I think of Candyman? Shit. Habib down at 7-Eleven. He's got chocolate, sweet and sours. Goddamn, he's you mean 1992 Candyman. Written by Clive Barker? Shit. Me and Candyman is okay. 5 times, say his name 5 times. Fuck, what's up with you know what? What's up with that motherfucker B? Goddamn Bubble B. Goddamn, make me want that. Woo-wee.
Danny, stay on topic, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Whew. Oh, man. Goddamn, I get on these rants, man. My temper. As you see, I ass a devil.
I see that, yeah. Alright, so I don't know, anything else you want to let the audience know of a project you're working on? Anything else you got upcoming?
Oh, well, yeah. What else I got going on is a freaking goddamn candy apple size cyst on the back of my ass. Hard as hell to take a shit. You know what I mean? Goddamn cream don't have shit. Thanks for having me on, Death Twitch. And remember, Danny Devil Puppet coming for you. Oh, yeah.
Alright, fuck, later, dude. Jeez. Wow, that was crazy. I can't believe that worked. Well, thanks for Danny the Devil for appearing on my channel, man. Go check him out. I'll put a link in the description. Yeah, that was crazy. I want to say, originally my idea was I was going to give it a 3.5 stars, but as many of you know, I watched these movies multiple times in order to do the review. Going in this, I knew I liked the movie, but I thought I would get bored after a few watches. That didn't turn out to be the case. In fact, every time I watched it, I was more drawn in. I was catching things I didn't catch before. I was more intrigued with each viewing. So this movie, it holds up. I'm going to bump this shit right up to a 4 out of 5 stars. Long time no see, motherfuckers. Eric back in the house again, here to review some... You know what? I need to settle down. I'm not a gangsta. Like, hold up. Represent. Anyway. God damn it. Yo, what's up? Yeah, settle down. What's up, everybody? Yeah. It's not even funny. Alright, what's up, everybody? Long time. Nope, try it again. God damn it. What's up? This is why it takes fucking forever to get this shit done.